and welcome to Concert Pipeline. I'm Steve Jones. Today on the program, we have a great band. This is a band that I've gotten to see live before. I saw them live, I think, last year and when they played in San Francisco. And this time I had a chance to talk to them and about their new album that's coming out this Friday, October 6th. It's called Come of Age. The band is called Princess Goes, and I had a chance to interview the whole band, which is Matt Katz-Bohen, also performs with Blondie and Debbie Harry. He's the keyboardist and guitarist for the band. Peter Yanowitz, who's from Wallflowers, Natalie Merchant, and most notably that I'm a fan of, Morningwood. I interviewed him better part of 20 years ago with Morningwood. We'll get into that a little bit. He's the drummer and backing vocals for the band, and also Michael C. Hall, the singer, who's most notable for his work with on the show Dexter. I did not mention Dexter at all during the interview, which I'm really proud of. And 6 Feet Under. He's an actor on those shows. He's done a lot of other acting work as well. But he's a great musician also, and I see these vibes with him, with Bowie, and we get to talk about that a little bit as well. I was really excited to get this interview and get to spend some time with the band and talk to Michael C. Hall, because I'm such a fan of Dexter, but I didn't bring it up at all. I didn't mention it at all, which I'm really proud of. So that's really exciting. So we'll get into that in just a minute. I'm not going to waste a lot of time in this open intro because we have so much content to cover on the program today. But I will say, if you didn't check out the last episode of Concert Pipeline, we had a chance to talk to Joe Gatto of Impractical Jokers fame. I'm a big fan of Impractical Jokers. It's a comfort food for me. I love the show. He's hilarious. He has a lot of great physical comedy in his persona, and that was a rare treat to actually get to talk to a comedian. We don't have a lot of those on the program, but who has nothing to do with music really, but. Go back and check that out if you didn't get a chance to check it out. All right, so we're going to get into the show. Also on the program today, I'm going to talk through, do a little review of sorts of the All-American Rejects show at Toyota Amphitheater. They did a Wet Hot American Summer tour with Newfound Glory and Motion City Soundtrack and the Get Up Kids. I got to go to that. We're going to get to that after the band interview, because I really want to make sure we highlight the band that we have on the program. And I want to start it out by playing a song from Princess Go's show. I think it was Brick and Mortar that they played in San Francisco, if I remember correctly. I don't know why I don't remember the venue. It's just been but it was last year sometime. And I really enjoyed their show. And this song that I'm going to play before we get into the interview is it really has a Bowie feel, and their new album does as well. I really get these Bowie vibes, and I love it. I mean, because I'm a big Bowie fan. So we're going to play a song by Princess Goes. They were, at the time that I saw them back then, called Princess Goes to the Butterfly Museum. They simplified and shortened their name after probably getting some feedback around how long it is and tricky. But this is a song called Cruel World by Princess Goes. And then we'll get into the interview.
You out of your misery, 'cause darling, you're bringing me down. I wish I could say that I'm sorry, but I'm over that now. I'm taking you out. It's a cruel, cruel world. Beauty
Mike, Peter, how are you doing?
Hello, Steve. How's it going?
Good.
Matt,
Matt,
Peter.
Peter, Mike.
Peter, Mike. Welcome everybody. How are we doing this morning?
Good.
Fine, thank you.
Excellent.
We're in two different rooms, but this is the line right here.
That is a very well divided room. I like it. You know, it's or two rooms, completely different. So, are you guys practicing right now, getting ready for tour?
Yeah, after we do these interviews, yeah, we gotta work a little bit.
Yeah. The new album is pretty awesome. I mean, it's really great, and obviously, I want to get into that. I want to talk about your kind of venture into music and the arts as well, and kind of as I dug into your band a lot, you know, I mean, for Matt, for Peter, it kind of makes sense, but for Mike, I'm kind of curious. Like your parents had nothing to do with the arts in their careers, right? So like, where did that come from for you?
Don't know. I think very early on, I had my first experience doing a play in a church basement, like in second grade, and even though I didn't admit it to anyone or even to myself until I was probably 19, I think I knew it was like performing, acting and singing too. I did a lot of like choral singing and stuff like that. I knew that was what I love most of all. And yeah, I don't know if there's not a lot. By not a lot, I mean not any performing artists or artists otherwise in my family. They left it all for me to do.
Left it all for you, and you all have been playing the keyboards, right? Like I hear that you all are playing the keyboards now, at least dabbling in it. No.
We're playing some keyboards. Mike's been known to tickle the mellotron.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a chance to see you at your show in San Francisco last year, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was a really good performance. Tell me about kind of taking the music from the recording to the live stage. What is that process like for you?
Yeah, it's always interesting, you know, process. Because we started mostly as just writing songs in this room and not even really thinking about what that was going to lead to. So it was kind of cool when we realized, hey, we have enough songs to play live. Maybe we should book a show. And I don't even know if we had a name yet. You know, we were just still early stages, but I don't know. It's just so cool to play live and exchange that energy and get that energy back, and also test these songs out and see what you can learn and how you can grow them, or what you can do. So it's been a really rewarding process.
Yeah. Now you have a European tour booked, and you're working on booking a tour on the East Coast and the West Coast. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't interrupt. Are there spots that you're excited to play, or that you've played before that you're looking forward to?
All of them.
I think, all of them, but especially the new ones from this new album, some of which we haven't played yet, or we haven't played in a really long time. Some of them we played like Whatever Whispers was played like once, I think, at the very first show, which was in 2018 or 19. And then we kind of shelved it. So it'll be interesting to revisit these old songs. Glasswing is another one like that. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about Bowie and the influence from Bowie, and this album really feels I mean, has a heavy Bowie influence. I can just feel it, right? And Mike, I know that I mean, you have a connection with Bowie. Bowie kind of tapped you to be a lead in Lazarus, right? And tell me first about that experience and kind of getting to interact with Bowie and be a part of that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that he tapped me. I think I just I got a meeting with the guy Ivo Van Hove who was directing it, and I had a notion that he was directing this top secret project, and I basically said I lobbied for him to consider me, and I happened to be doing Hedwig at the time, and he and some producers came to see that, and so it. But yeah, I mean, it was amazing to be you know a part of his final creative flourish. You know, the production of Lazarus coincided with the release of Black Star, and as it turned out, the end of his life. And I think doing some sort of theatrical production that incorporated his music was something that was always a dream of his. So it was incredible. It was an incredible thing to be invited to do, to be charged with, to be around him. He was so positive and filled with like genuine gratitude for everyone who was making the commitment to making that piece, and which was, you know, wild. I mean, the first time I met him, he was like, "Thank you so much for doing this." Like, you're welcome. Thank you
You don't have
for
to thank me. I do it anytime. Right? Yeah.
thank you for everything. But yeah, it was amazing and not insignificant in the progression towards this band, just in as much as it maybe gave me some sense of having any business doing such a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you and the cast were recording the cast album like the day he died, right? Like,
That's
what was
right.
that?
We woke up to the news that he had died, and that coincided with the day that we were going in to record the cast album, which was you know, um, incredibly heavy, but it was also, we were very thankful that we were able to go in and be together and do something rather than just be isolated, alone, doing nothing. So we were able immediately to sort of do something and celebrate him and celebrate that experience. Doing the show the following night was a lot harder because everything kind of resonated in a new way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine that was really tough. I mean, I remember where I was when Bowie died. I was on vacation with my kids in Seattle, and I heard, and I'd just taken them to the EMP museum, seeing all this great rock history, and it was just so shocking. And then, I mean, I was at my favorite concert of all time was a Bowie celebration here in San Francisco, led by Gary Oldman, and a bunch of amazing musicians, and it was just magic, you know. And I never got to see him live, but I mean, it's just must have been what an incredible experience for you to be a part of that at that moment. And Black Star hit me so hard. Also, I mean, it felt like he went out on the note he wanted to, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was the best mic drop in the history of mic drops.
Yeah. And so how do you kind of build that influence into your album? How would you describe his presence in this new album that you're putting out?
Unconscious. I mean, I don't think any of us are consciously trying to bring any single or even idea of a collection of influences into what we make. We just allow whatever our life experience, musical experience, to intuitively, hopefully, be alive and contribute. But there's no, you know, we're not talking explicitly about any one we're trying to bring into the music or bring into the room. We're not lighting any candles, you know.
Yeah.
It's all just, but it's all there, you know. It's all, we're just sort of a collection of the lives we've lived up to this point. So we're bringing, you don't have to try to bring your influences, because they're your influences.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Peter, I heard that Chantal Claret is on this album. I'm trying to figure out where, but is it Saving Grace? What song did Chantal contribute to on this album?
It's no, good, close, but it's called Beja, and she's
Okay.
have you heard the whole record?
I've heard it multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, Beja, kind of closer to the end. She's the female voice that answers Mike in those. That's Chantal.
Nice. And like, what was it like working with her again? Morningwood was a band. They're one of the bands of my youth. I interviewed you. I think it's Slim's in San Francisco, probably 20 years ago or something, a lifetime ago, right? During when that band was around, and they were so rocking. That album is incredible. So what was it like to bring her in on this album?
Thank you so much, man. It was so joyful. I mean, I love Chantal. She's my sister and just a lifelong friend. She's an inspiration to me. She moved to New Zealand a bunch of years ago and had twin girls, and I don't get to see her that much. So it was just really nice to have Mike and Matt accept, having a guest on the record and have it be hers. Just to have her be a part of any of my music is always fun. And I think what she did on that song is really perfect, because the song Beja is about a Liverpudlian. How do you say that? Liverpudlian artist that she opened up for us on our last tour of the UK a couple of years ago, and she just left us such a big impression on the three of us, and we loved her, and we felt like she was deserving of a song. And so, but it might have been too on the head to have Molly Beja sing on it. So it was great to have Chantal, come in and represent that energy. It seemed to work out really beautifully.
Yeah. Will Morningwood see the light of day again? I know Chantal is a world away on the other side of the world, but is that a possibility?
I'll never say never. I wouldn't, but Chantal, for some inexplicable reason, years ago said, we're done, that's it, and like sort of stopped the band, which I thought was a really, I just think you should never say something is finished, because then when you come back, you're like, oh, I thought you were done, like LCD Sound System. But no, I would never say never, but it seems unlikely. I mean, we're all on to new stuff, and hopefully we got this band to get across to the people.
Yeah. And tell me kind of about kind of your experience with Natalie Merchant, and kind of how that what you learned from working with Natalie musically, and how that kind of influenced your work here.
Yeah, Natalie was she's an amazing human. She I don't know, I feel like I was just a drummer when I met Natalie, and I had so much more inside me that I didn't know existed, and didn't know. She bought me an easel, for example, for my birthday, and I'd never painted before, but then I got really into painting, and she was just always looking for creativity to fill her everyday life, and I think because of that, I spent a lot of time on myself when I was around her, and so I ended up just starting to get more creative myself, and we'd write together out in our little guest house studio that we had, and we would just jam drums and keyboards and record it all onto a DAT machine and listen to those jams at night, and we'd make our songs from those jams. We'd listen in bed, and she was so organized and would take notes, and I was like, oh shit, I started to learn how to write songs, so I didn't even know how to do that before I met her, and she helped me unlock that secret songwriting, or at least I borrowed from her process, and I still use that kind of like, let's just jam and then record it and then see what's there, and not, nothing more than that. But no, she was just an amazing person to meet at that time of my life, and she really helped unlock me creatively, and I found my voice during that and shortly after.
Yeah. And what does that writing process look like, especially as you came into come of age? Like, what is the division of labor? Do you work separately and then kind of come together and bring it all together?
Yeah, I think we do a little bit of everything. When we're all here together, we'll just play and write and record all together. But we also have our own little studio setups in our respective homes, and we'll just throw ideas at each other, forcefully, sometimes gently. And sometimes we have old ideas. I had this idea from the song Blur that was from years ago, and I originally thought it could be a Blondie song, maybe. So I showed it to them, and they were like, "No, this is more of a Princess song." So I took it to Princess, and we sort of reworked the whole thing. And Peter, I think, had Saving Grace that was from something older. So we're not afraid to bring things in that ideas that we've had from the past as well as the present. And then there are songs like Jetpack, which we just created here in the studio.
Yeah, and you're still working with Blondie, and tell me kind of about that relationship with Debbie. How does that work for you? Is there a lot of touring happening there? And yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, there has been a bunch of touring this year with Blondie, and so luckily Debbie's a huge Princess fan. She loves the band, and she's been at a lot of our shows. And she's even been our drum technician on several occasions. She's been our drum roadie. She carries stuff. She helps us load the car. She's let us use her car. So she's very useful. She comes in very handy. She's around.
Yeah, you're not afraid to put her to work, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
She
I like.
happy, to see us being, very popular and growing more and all that kind of stuff. And she'll hopefully keep being our drum tech.
Yeah. The video you put out a couple of videos for this new album. You mentioned Blur, Shimmer also. The video for Shimmer is, I mean, it's just it's an experience. It's incredible. Like, tell me where that came from.
And from
Tim Richardson, who made that video for us, he came to see us. We were put in touch with him through a mutual friend, and he liked the band, and we sent him most of, if not all of, the tracks from the new record, and just to gauge his interest, and that was the one he responded to. And originally that video, the concept was probably more in keeping with what the Blur video ended up looking like. Like, it was much more intimate, and with a sort of post-production little grace note, but then the post-production kind of took over as he was inspired to tell this visual story. And we just, I mean, he's an amazing artist, and we were thankful that he was inspired, and just told him to run with it, because all of his instincts felt to be intuitively in sync with just our feeling about the song, our feeling about his visual landscape seemed very in sync with kind of our feeling about how the song felt. I mean, there's nothing literal about what he's done in terms of interpreting the lyrics, but all the same, that sort of grinding, churning toward cracks of light and everything, just I think encapsulates a lot of how I think the music feels, not just in that song even, but yeah, I mean, it's all down to Tim and his his willingness and ability to just run with his own kind of take.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels very apocalyptic, a roller coaster. Like, I don't know, like dark, obviously. You don't know where it's going, but you're like, I'm on this voyage with it, right? And that girl at the end, who's that girl? That's like, there's a bunch of her, is that someone's daughter?
It's a
I
good
think it's
question.
a daughter of a friend of his.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. Uh, and so when I saw you in San Francisco, I think, Mike, you said that this might be the only time you see us, sort of thing. Was that kind of just kind of in jest, or were you kind of at an impasse of like, we don't know what this is going to be. It's going to be what it will be, and you'll find out along with us.
It was probably mostly in jest.
Yeah,
But also just a way to remind everybody, you never know,
you never know.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe the asteroid's going to hit right after the final encore.
You could have it. Nothing's off the table, right?
Yeah.
And when you went in to record the album, was it a quick process? Did you like book studio time and you're like, okay, we got this much time to do it, or how much of the writing did you take into the studio?
No, luckily, we have the luxury of this is our studio, so we don't have to book it. We can come in here and work whenever we want. And we also have our home studio, so we can work whenever we want at home. So yeah, removing that time pressure element is I like it personally. I guess some people might like the working under pressure thing, but yeah, so
Yeah, makes it easier. And what about you all are located in New York, right?
I think we're based in New York, but Mike's actually down in North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina, and Brooklyn and New York,
Yeah, it's the home base. What do you love about New York City?
It's a good question. I mean, have you been here?
Yeah. I mean, it's actually been a while for me since I have, but I haven't.
I mean, like no other place. I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Just what is it, but all I know is this is the first place I grew up in Utah and never really felt comfortable there. I lived in Los Angeles. I went to college in Boston. And New York was the first place I came that I was just like, okay. I felt like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. My parents were both New Yorkers, but maybe that had something to do with it. But it's also like, I don't know, I've been spending a little bit of time up in the country and then this summer and that's been really nice. But then whenever I come back to New York too, I'm like, oh my God, this place is incredible. Like there is just everybody's here, everybody's doing their thing, and we're all just mashed together, and it's kind of horrible too, and just disgusting and scary sometimes. But it's just the energy, and he's actually a real New Yorker. He's born and raised right in this neighborhood. What is it about this place?
yeah, I would say, I've been thinking about the Walt Whitman Leaves of Grass line. Give me such shows, the streets of Manhattan. What the hell does he say? There's someone. Give me such shows, give me the streets of Manhattan, me the sound of trumpets and the drums with the black ships. And that was true in 1867, and it's true today. You just walk around Manhattan and you're like, this place is nuts, in a beautiful way and in a maddening way. And not just Manhattan, obviously. I live in Brooklyn, and yeah, I never know what I'm gonna get when I leave my door.
You had that quote right at the ready, by the way. That was impressive. So
Thank you. I have been thinking about it.
Nice.
yeah, yeah, I like it. And when you're on tour, what does that look like for you as a group? Do you spend a lot of time together? Do you try and make time? I know obviously it's like getting to the city, do the sound check, interviews, do the show, all of that. But do you try and make time to see anything in the cities when you're on tour?
so nice when you have a day off and you can actually, like, we had a really nice time together when we were in Columbus, Ohio recently. We had a day off, and I don't know, it was just kind of discovering the city, like walking around, finding something to eat, just stuff like that can be really nice. And, honestly, most of the time you're on tour is pretty harrowing and exhausting, and it's work, so you're trying to conserve that energy so you have it for the show. And so it's a little bit of double-edged. You're tired and it's kind of a pain in the ass, but then you play the show and you get all this energy, and you're like, and you see like that you're making new fans, and you're like, oh, this is building, and it's kind of a cool feeling. And sometimes it just fucking sucks.
Yeah. It is grueling. It is grueling life on the road, right? So you got to take breaks from it. You can't just live on the road. So as we're looking ahead, that you have the album coming out on October 6th, but I saw in the Ask Me Anything that you did recently that you were talking about a campfire acoustic record. Tell me a little bit about that, and kind of looking that stuff ahead, or is that just a jest too?
Not in jest, but I don't know. It's just it's among the possibilities. But we definitely have a good amount of additional material that we're in various states of completion or evolution or whatever. Yeah, I don't know exactly what will happen next recording wise, but we'll continue to play shows periodically to go along with this upcoming European tour, domestic shows, and yeah.
We also have an outstanding, when the pandemic hit, we had actually booked a week, I think, at Rancho de la Luna, the Dave Catching studio in the desert, out in Palm Desert in California. And we had to blow that out because that was right when the pandemic hit. And so Dave, we definitely, and who knows, if we had done that, we might have gone in a completely different direction, and we'd be a different band. But we have that in the back of our minds of like, we got to go back to the desert one day and see what that was all about, and make that, maybe it's an EP, maybe it's 3 songs, I don't know, but we're going to do something with Dave at some point,
Yeah. Do you see the environment being a real contributor to the vibe of what the album ends up being?
Most definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, for this album, like, I mean, you recorded here in your home studio, but that's not exclusionary, right? And you can kind of really transform that into something else for that next album. So cool. Well, I want to thank you guys for taking the time. I mean, as I said, the album is really great, and it just flows together really well. The videos that you've put out for it are solid. You have a lot to be proud of with this music. And I guess as we go out, I want to ask you, what was your favorite concert that you've been to as a fan? Takes a sec, right?
I think the Radiohead, the Kid A tour, Madison Square Garden, that was a good one.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to go with MSG, but it was the White Stripes. I saw them play when they were still together, obviously, and they I've seen, like, the Beastie Boys in Madison Square Garden, Muse and Interpol and all these bands, but the White Stripes, just 2 people in that space. You can't imagine how fucking epic it was. It was just, I mean, and I'm a White Stripes fan, but not a huge one, but it was like, I couldn't believe how big they were, and that just 2 people on that stage blew away like all those other bands, I thought.
Yeah. Wow. Fair. So many things. Man, I want to say Fugazi in 1992. I don't know, it came out of nowhere. I think Steady Died of Nothing had just come out, and they were playing in New York, and it was just one of those perfect times. The crowd went crazy. Everyone's like, on their heads, slam dancing like maniacs. That's all like that.
And you were an influential age then, so I'm sure that impacted you, towards wanting to become a musician and everything, right?
Oh yeah, huge, huge. Like the whole hardcore punk thing for me, it was hugely influential. Even though you can't, I guess you can sort of hear it in our music. Not really. Maybe if you like metal music hard, I guess it's there.
Yeah, yeah, I like it. Well, Peter, Mike, Matt, thank you again for taking the time. Good luck with the album release and the upcoming shows, and I hope to see you on the West Coast when you come back out here. Yeah, I mean, I know it's going to be a great live show, so thank you for keeping at it.
Thank you, Steve, and thanks for the support for checking our shit out, man.
Yeah,
course.
thank you.
Of course, and get Chantal, get Chantal back out here too. So let her know that there's still a demand, okay? And it's time.
I'll text her right now. I'll text her.
Princess Wood. Princess Wood.
Princess Wood, I love it. Make it happen. I will be there at the front for sure. So, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day. Okay.
Take care, you too.
Thank you.
Later on. That was my interview with Princess Goes here on Concert Pipeline. And normally we'd hop right into the music news at this portion of the program, but we're going to bring a lot more music to the program, a couple more songs before we get into the music news. So let's talk about the Wet Hot American Summer Tour at Toyota Amphitheater. I went out, I visited my buddy Jay and his wife Tony, and some of their friends came with us to the show. Sean and his wife, and it was a lot of fun, and it was great to just hang with the group. Like, I mean, we had a lot of fun. We left early for the show, and we got some pizza and wings, and then went to Hard Rock Casino, which I'm not a big gambler, but when you're with friends and had a couple of drinks, and you have time to kill before the show, you do a little gambling. So we did some slots. That's all we did. But we all threw in some money. I was the first one to throw a 20 into a slot machine, a Wheel of Fortune slot machine, and I like the smaller bets better because it draws out the losing that you're going to do. It makes it last a little bit longer. But I was doing some big betting, big for me anyway, some $7 bets, and then at one point early on this $20 that I threw in, I was up to 25. So I was like, "Ooh, this is the time I should pull out, right? Pull out while you're ahead. That's what you're supposed to do." Nah, I drove that 20 into the ground, but it took me about 5 minutes. So it was 5 minutes of entertainment. And then another, my friend Tony, she put in 20 on the Wheel of Fortune, and then someone else put in 20 on the Wheel of Fortune. We probably popped $60 just into that one slot machine, and didn't get any of it back, right? So what do you do when you throw down some money? You throw down some more on another slot machine. So I put a 5 into a different, like a penny machine, which really is like 40 cents is the minimum bet I think you can do, and lost that in probably about 5 minutes. So all in, I got about 10 minutes of entertainment for my $25, and friends put in some money in other slots as well, and we had a little bit of fun and had a drink before going over to the show. So that was fun. We get to the show, and we had a little bit of time to kill, so we walked around. We had pit tickets, so we got to go up fairly close to the stage, and the Get Up Kids were up first. I'm not a big fan of the Get Up Kids. I didn't know a lot of or any of their stuff really. So we're not going to play a song from them because I didn't record any. So we're going to move past the Get Up Kids and move on to the first band that I was a fan of to take the stage, and that is Motion City Soundtrack. I love Motion City Soundtrack. Commit This to Memory is one of my all-time favorite albums. I could play it anytime and just like rock out to it. Love that album, and really honored that I got to see them perform the album in its entirety twice over the years. I think once on the 10th and once on the 15th anniversary of the album, maybe, or 20th. I don't know, somewhere around there. But it was a great. It's a great album, and I love it. And so I looked the set list up right before they were taking the stage, and they were playing 7 songs, and I'm like, that's not enough Motion City Soundtrack, but I'll take what I can get. And and it was a great set. And Justin Pierre, he's sporting a cane since I think he has some back issues and can't play guitar right now, and so brought out another guitarist, and it's just such an awesome set. So we're gonna play one song from Motion City Soundtrack. Of course, I'll commit this to memory, and this is "Everything Is All Right."
I just tried to sing it to the mic stand. I'm not used to not having a guitar, and it's weird, but I'm gonna try to rock out like a singer. Just don't laugh, thanks. And if you know the words, sing along.
That was Everything Is All Right by Motion City Soundtrack. Really fun set. And what I didn't mention before was that it started to rain right before Motion City Soundtrack was playing, and not hard like pouring rain or anything, but just a nice mist of rain coming down to really set the mood for their set. And I love it. And in California, anytime we get any rain, it's a miracle. It hasn't rained at all, in months. And so driving out to the show, it rained on the way, and it was just great. I was like, free car wash, great. I dig it. We'll take it, right? Okay, next up is Newfound Glory. And I may have seen Newfound Glory once over the years. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if I did or didn't, but they were one of those bands that I like, but I never really got heavy into them in their prime, which was like 2002, 2003, around then. And so, but there are some songs of theirs that I really dig, and that, when they come up on the pop punk rides on the Peloton, I'll turn them up and I'll rock out to it, right? And this next one is one of those songs. It's kind of a good Peloton biking song also, but we're gonna play a song from Newfound Glory. We all just rocked out to Newfound Glory. All my friends, they were the most excited about seeing Newfound Glory. Big pop punk fans, and love them some Newfound Glory. So we had so much fun just rocking out to Newfound Glory. This is All Downhill. Okay, and that takes us to the last band of the evening, and that is All American Rejects. And I did have a chance to interview a couple members of All American Rejects on Warped Tour, I think 2003, so 20 years ago at this point, and they're still around and kicking it. And they opened their set with Swing Swing. We were walking back into the venue from getting a drink for when they opened with Swing Swing, and their set was a lot of fun. We didn't stay for the whole thing. We stayed until a song that we was a big single of theirs that we knew and we enjoyed, and Tyson Ritter, he has great stage presence, I'll tell you. Like I told my friends a story about All American Rejects. I was the only one who'd seen them live, and I've seen them I think 3 times prior to this show. And all of the times I've seen them, it wasn't to just see them. There were other bands that I was interested in seeing at the shows that they played. But I saw them once with my kid's mom in San Jose, and someone threw a pair of panties on stage, and Tyson Ritter picked it up and was like, "Oh, I remember you," and it was just comical. It was great. So that's permanently built into my brain, tied to All American Rejects. But they put on a good show, and we're gonna play a song from their set, and this is "Dirty Little Secret."
Tonight's daddy's and mama's nights, ain't that right? This is where we get to fucking get dirty, am I right? Ooh, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe we should get dirty. What do you say, huh? I believe if the crowd's in on this dirty affair, you better get out of your fucking little club chair seats, motherfuckers. If you want to get dirty, I see you up there. Stand up, motherfuckers. If you want to get dirty, I think we should call this a little dirty. A dirty little.
was Dirty Little Secret from All American Rejects. And after Dirty Little Secret, my buddies and I left, went back to my friend Jay's house, and I proceeded to crash hard on his couch for the next 6 hours when I woke up with a hangover. Yeah, I didn't drink enough water. I should have drank some water. I know I didn't. It was a problem. And luckily I had 2 Excedrin in my glove box of my car. I took those and rested for another 45 minutes. And I woke up at 5 a.m. and tried to sleep, and it wasn't happening. So headed out, but came home and got home by like before 7 a.m. even. So it was a good night. I enjoyed it. A lot of fun. Thanks to Jay and my friends for hanging out. And so that takes us to our final segment on the program, the music. Okay, I have a couple of stories to wind out the program here, and what's going on in the music world. So first is Dave Mustaine. Dave Mustaine kicked security guards out of a Megadeth gig, saying, "I hate bullies." He stopped playing and refused to carry on until the security guards had been escorted out. That was earlier this week for harassing a fan. He had to directly address the security guards toward the end of the band's set as they were playing Symphony of Destruction. He even went as far as to stop the song, shouting to the security, "Dudes, don't be fucking hitting people. That's totally uncool. Hey, fucking stop hitting that guy." Then he ran over to where the incident was taking place to more directly scold the security guards and said he would refuse to play anymore until the guards had been ejected. "I'm not going to play anymore until those guys are escorted out of the building, so just hang on a second. That was so fucking unnecessary. That was so fucking unnecessary, you guys. What's on the back of your shirt? Safety? It should say no fucking safety, because you guys are punks. And you shouldn't have fucking hit that guy. 4 of you on one guy? What a bunch of pussies. Get him out of here or I'm leaving. I don't want to fucking hear that they're in the back. I want them out of here." So after the security guards were escorted out of the venue, he continued, "These motherfuckers wrecked my song. Sorry, that stuff just makes me so mad. I hate bullies. I fucking hate bullies." And then he resumed, finishing the set with "Holy Wars, the punishment due." And so he stood up for what was right, which is great. You know, I mean, people go to a concert to see a show, but if someone's getting picked on or bullied, you know, not cool. And especially if it's the security people in authority, the security guards. And so he kicked them out of the show. I don't know if they got paid that day or what, but they're gone, right? Okay. The Killers brought Sammy Hagar and Eddie Vedder on stage to sing covers at Ohana Festival. They covered Tom Petty's "The Waiting" and Van Halen's "Why Can't This Be Love?" And that was, let's see here, Brandon Flowers and company were performing at Vedder's annual festival in Dana Point, California, where they continued the festival's tradition of surprise live calibrations. And the Pearl Jam vocalist and guitarist and soloist, in his own name, he joined the Killers for a cover of "The Waiting." The Killers later welcomed ex-Van Halen co-lead vocalist and former Mantra singer Sammy Hagar on stage, who traded vocals with Flowers on "Why Can't This Be Love?" And Spin also notes that Vedder performed "The Waiting" at Ohana Festival with Mike Campbell's band Dirty Knobs. So he played that song twice, I guess, huh? Once with one of the actual Heartbreakers. And Vedder previously performed with the late Petty and his Heartbreakers band at several of their concerts over the years. And there's fan footage, of course, of the songs in question. So the Killers recently pulled out a live cover of Bruce Springsteen's "I'm on Fire" during a festival headline set. I love that song. It is such a great song. There's a version of Andrew McMahon covering that song. If you can find it, I recommend it. I think it's even better than the original. So that's pretty cool. All right, Drake recently dumped $50,000 on a fan who had a great sign. The fan was holding up a sign that read, "I spent all my savings buying tickets for me and my ex." And so he offered the fan $50,000 at his show in Miami on September 30th. During the concert, he noticed a fan holding it up, and he said, "I got to read that sign. I like that sign. That's a good sign to pick tonight. Usually I'll do something nice for a lady. I'll do something nice. I'll give her a bag or some shit like that. But my bro right here," he said, "spent all my savings buying tickets for me and my ex. But honestly, never mind. It's really her loss. So she ain't come with you tonight. She ain't come with you tonight to the Drake show. What the fuck is wrong with her? Are you in here just icy with that gold chain and the sunglasses on?" And you know what? The crowd began chanting, "Fuck that bitch" in response, but Drake persuaded them to calm down, saying, that's a little aggressive. You know what? She's going to feel real fucked up because I'm going to give you 50 bands. So you're going to flex on her tonight. That's how we doing it tonight, big dog. It's your night tonight. And I won't say it how y'all said it, but fuck that young lady. So he paid $50 or 50,000 apparently to this guy. I don't know how he gave that money. Like, is it in $100 bills? You write him a check? How does that turn out? If it actually even happened, right? But pretty cool. In other music news, Tupac Shakur's murderer, Dwayne Cafe D. Davis, was charged in the 1996 drive-by shooting. Took 27 years for this to happen after the rapper was fatally wounded in Las Vegas. The identity of the rapper's killer had remained a mystery for nearly 3 decades. Shakur died at the age of 25 on September 13th, 1996, several days after he was shot on September 7th. He was targeted in Las Vegas as he was leaving the Mike Tyson-Bruce Seldon fight at the MGM Grand and was en route to a nightclub with Suge Knight. A white Cadillac pulled up next to the pair's vehicle on the passenger side, and an unidentified gunman fired 14 shots. Shakur was hit 4 times, later dying from his injuries. Yesterday, the 29th, actually, Las Vegas police arrested a man in connection with the murder of him, and they've since charged him with the crimes. He faces murder with a deadly weapon, with a gang enhancement, and at the time of writing, he hasn't commented publicly on the charge. I guess the identity has been known to investigators for some time, and has been admitted in interviews in his 2019 memoir, Compton Street Legend, and he was in the Cadillac from which the shots were fired 27 years ago. He's also said he's one of the last living witnesses to the shooting. So I don't know. That's, it's good they finally were able to close it up. I'm sure that gives a lot of people some peace of mind. And our final story is about U2. They played their first Chung Baby Las Vegas residency shows and debuted a secret segment. Now, this is in the Dome in Las Vegas that was built, and I mean the Dome cost $2.3 million. I think it's it was 2.3 billion or 3.2 billion, something outrageous like that, right? And their residency, they have like 25 shows lined up at this place. It's centered on a full playthrough of their 7th album, but the songs are scattered throughout the set. But I think they play the album in its entirety. And Variety reports that Bono revealed to the crowd that they plan to focus on a different album or possibly other people's albums, he said teasingly. However, he didn't clarify whether that would mean a setlist switch up on each of the residency's 25 shows. U2 played the first 8 songs off a Chung Baby before breaking into a 4-song secret segment of their hybrid live studio album, Rattle and Hum. The band's residency gig, it opened the same day that they released their first new song in 2 years, Atomic City. It was attended by a host of famous faces, including Paul McCartney, Snoop Dogg, and Dr. Dre and Flavor Flav were in attendance also. And they... let me see. This is not a song we stole from the Beatles. We stole that from Bob Dylan. That he continued before dedicating the song to the late Billie Holiday. They also exited Presley's "Love Me Tender," Frank Sinatra's "My Way," Prince's "Purple Rain," Van Morrison's "Into the Mystic," and Thin Lizzy's "Dancing in the Moonlight." And they rounded the show with their song "Beautiful Day," followed by a melody of the Beatles' "Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club" and Blackbird. So you can see lots of video online, of course, of these songs if you want to catch more. So that is our show for today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Princess Goes for being on the program. We have a lot of fun stuff lined up in the weeks coming. So continue to tune in. Next week on the program, we're going to have Foghat, the bassist, Brian Bessette, and he's going to be on the program. He was also famously in another band, which I'm trying to remember what the other band was. I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but Wild Cherry. There we go. They did play that funky music, so they're going to be on the program. We have more stuff lined up in the coming weeks, so keep tuning in. For all of us here at Concert Pipeline, I'm Steve Jones. We'll catch you next time.